What's up, guys and gals of the Movement World? It's Sean Mishka, the Movement Miyagi, coming to you once again on behalf of Football Beyond the Stats and our Movement Play of the Week this week for Week 11 of the 2024 National Football League season. In this week, just like any other week, we see the true authenticity, the true attunement, and ultimately the true adaptability of the National Football League's most skillful movers. This one just so happens to be at the hands, the feet, the arm, the eyes of Josh Allen, who has found himself on our all movement team in the past, typically as a second or third or maybe even honorable mention performer, going against what could arguably be the top team in the National Football League in 2024 in the Kansas City Chiefs. Though, as I've highlighted really in the past, the Kansas City Chiefs have just found ways to adaptively win. And of course, that's skill in and of itself to find this functional, adaptable relationship with the unfolding environment. And that's what we see Josh Allen do, take a page out of the Kansas City Chiefs book and do what he actually does best, which is go out and create with his own organismic, physical, individual constraints that he possesses. These constraints, again, just as we think about this, we never stand in the same river twice. We're not the same man. The river's not the same either. So it's about these two coming to be with one another. And of course, that's why problem solving is closely related to this idea of riding the wave, finding one's fit and one's way of interacting with the wave as it tests oneself as to what they are. And on Sunday, Josh Allen passed that test with flying colors. Josh Allen probably being in the conversation with two or three other guys for this year's most valuable player award. Lamar Jackson, maybe Joe Burrow, maybe a couple other guys in that conversation, maybe even Patrick Mahomes if the Chiefs find themselves into their winning ways. But what we see from Josh Allen here, even though he's up and the time is ticking down, fourth quarter just coming up on the 2 minute warning. But let's think about the constraints here. Even though he's at home, he's against the defending, reigning Super Bowl champion, who happens to be 9-0, continuing on their tear. But Josh Allen, 4th and 2, taking it upon himself, putting the team on his back and doing what he does best in adapt. But we really want to dive into what could be the clutch performance that we've seen so far in this NFL season. We think of pressure and anxiety, fatigue, maybe when it's getting later in the game or now in the middle or later in the season. These types of key performance inhibitors can constrain or fix and freeze degrees of freedom across the movement system if the player isn't as skillful as they need to be. But Josh Allen, now 28 years old, maturing and evolving, we see the best of what Josh Allen is. So let's get into this play at 100% speed now. I've rambled long enough. Let's see it a few times through. This clutch touchdown run by Josh Allen. 4th and 2. Let's not forget it here. But let's see right off the bat that Josh Allen is going to put it on himself to go seal the game. Now, granted, the Chiefs got another drive after this, but it was a half hearted effort. And yes, crazier things have certainly happened in the National Football League as we watch this a second time through, but it's hard when a team gets up by 9 with that little time remaining in order to win. And obviously, we know now that the Buffalo Bills end up taking the Kansas City Chiefs on this 2024 season. This last time through at 100% speed, as you see Josh Allen, not necessarily going to make guys miss in the overly evasive or agile manner that I typically feature plays and players here at Football Beyond the Stats. But we see him do it in his own respective way. Okay. And that I think is the thing that we want to really highlight here, to use no way is the way, as I so often talk about, to apply a Bruce Lee Jeet Kune Do type of approach to American football and the skill execution within it. to use no way as the way. It's the authentic, honest, creative expression of who one is and what somebody's skill is oriented around. Josh Allen being 6'5, 240 pounds or something, he's the size, or maybe even a little bigger, than most teams' starting linebackers. But that even being said, let's not forget some of the interplay here. And I really want to look at the nuances that leads to the deceptive nature, but how perceptions, cognitions, and actions, of course, intertwine with one another, interconnect with one another to allow for this movement solution to come to be for this emerging movement problem. Let's think about how the tactics and strategy might set the tone for this. Again, 4th and 2, let's look at it right off the bat, right? We see all of these Kansas City Chiefs near or at the line of scrimmage. A whole bunch of Chiefs, a whole bunch of red and white in the box with the expectation that Josh Allen could be doing some sort of RPO. Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills offense here, not known to shy away from stealing a game, not known to not put the ball in their guys' hands. Their franchise quarterback right here, number 17, one of the best to be doing it right now. But let's watch how these problem and solution dynamics interplay with one another and change their states of organization. And again, this would be tactically on a surface, but then that tactic really, really seamlessly flows into technique or skill. Let's watch even the pump fake here down as he looks to, give this fake to where, look at, if we just, let me get my drawers out. I didn't have them up on the board, so that's why. Now you see guys looking to and through, right? They're all looking here, of course. Look at how settled their feet are when we even think about what they are looking for and how it might fix or freeze their degrees of freedom. Just even something as simple as this slight pump fake, and even though he's already brought it down. Okay, these are things that when we look at plays unfold, we might miss the forest through the trees. It's like the finger pointing the way to the moon, right? Don't concentrate just on the finger. Don't concentrate just on what Josh Allen is doing, but let's look at how it relates to the finger that, or what the finger is pointing at. The defenders and their actions. Watch this again, okay? We saw the pump fake, and now look at 54 is just looking for his guy. We see 32 and Nick Bolton just looking around here, looking to see at what Josh Allen might be looking at, but what he might be intending to do. Okay. Again, these are all things that are intuitively obvious. Behavior affords behavior. So, how one person acts will feed into, in a perpetual way, what some other individual might be picking up, what information they might be detecting, how they might be intending to interact themselves, and ultimately the adaptability of their actions. We see Nick Bolton getting deeper and deeper here, even though he's looking to Shakir, number 10, because that's where Josh Allen is looking. He also has a crosser coming across. He, being Josh Allen, has a crosser coming across, and that obviously is going to freeze Nick Bolton 32 momentarily. There's a bunch of players here that Nick Bolton could be looking to, and I only point out Nick Bolton, guys and gals, because I'm surprised on this respective play that the Kansas City Chiefs did not have a spy on Josh Allen on 4th and 2. Okay. And you're trying to keep Josh Allen from getting to the sticks. And I guess that's why I'm pointing out Nick Bolton as much as I am when we look at the line to gain here down the sticks, right? Right past at about the 24 and a half yard line. That if you can stop Josh Allen here, the game is still like well in Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs control. Okay. So just kind of a tactical blunder, if you will, even though it's easy to second guess in retrospect, right? Because if he would have come up short or he would have thrown this ball somewhere and it would have come up incomplete, then we could looking at Steve Spagnuolo and the Kansas City Chiefs and what they're doing in the tactical strategy that they're employing is being successful, right? But you can see the confusion of all of these options on the table. It's sort of a microcosm where we can tell a similar story when we look at a 1v1 interaction in, say, evasive agility type of scenarios or situations. And Nick Bolton also, I should mention, is an all movement team member. So we should probably, if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, trust him to maybe spy on Josh Allen or use him tactically in a little different way to allow him to go adapt. But I digress. That's obviously not what the Kansas City Chiefs elected to do. I wanted to pause it right when we might be able to see. Now, I want to like call out the elephant in the room here on 4th and 2. Even Tony Romo, commentator for CBS, was saying at this time, like, I'm guessing that they're going to put it on Josh Allen's shoulders and on his legs. He says something along those lines. And you can see that even though he has a couple of guys that might be like if they were to come open, and depending on exactly where these guys are going, this is a lot of bodies in the space. Shoot, he could have even dumped it down, obviously, um, initially down here, even though that was all nothing but a deceptive decoy, all decoying, all feinting, all faking, all looking to deceive the Kansas City Chiefs into indecision for Josh Allen, that when this back foot strikes the ground, he is taking off. Like, he has seen enough. He has detected the opportunities to act. And we think about, well, what are those opportunities to act? What could Josh Allen actually be seeing right now? Like, let's think about the sheer balls and audacity of Josh Allen here. Here's the sticks, guys. Like, you see the line to gain, and you think about all of the barriers between here and there, right? Like, let's just think about them, all of them that exist here. And I'm not even going to be able to draw all of them because some of them are off the screen, right? You see one right here. I can't even draw it. Okay. And I can't draw because it's off the screen, but that's all near the line to gain. And I want you to think about that when Josh Allen strikes his foot in the ground. He's going to go interact with that wave and he's going to go see what that wave has to teach him about himself. And he's going to put it on his shoulders that, yes, look at how he gets into that early acceleration gate, but let's not forget right now the most attuned and adaptable mover. Okay. He's looking here, but I want you to really think about where that vista might be for Josh Allen, depending on what he's looking at and where he's looking at it, right? Think of what he might be picking up to the left and to the right of these opportunities, what types of opportunities he could actually be picking up here. And those are the types of things that I really want us to think about. Now, this is the snapshot, right? Let's remember that it's problem and solution dynamics that are ever changing, ever evolving, ever emerging. So every step that takes place, it's not like the vista, it's not like that landscape of affordances is staying the same. Look how much it's already begun to change, right? And now Josh Allen has to interact with the what is. First of all, the fact that he was able to get out of harm's way right here of this dude, who could have easily stopped it right before it even got started, right? Like, if Josh Allen veers even a little to his right here, he is well within arm's reach and potentially being tripped up by this cat who's come off of his block. And like, you see these subtle dynamic nuances, and I want you to actually look at the dimensions of them. So when we say that football is a game of inches, here is probably a game of 6 inches, because if Josh Allen isn't feeling what's to his right when he plants his foot to the ground, and he veers just a little too much that way, he has now closed that gap and would be in danger. But look at him reach the ball up ever so subtly here. Even with this reach, like look at here as I screenshot it or as I pause it, and you guys could screenshot it. Like look at how close, and Josh Allen's arm is already being cocked and loaded. He's just throwing this out there, saying, and I'm saying he's throwing it out there. He's throwing this arm out there, saying, hey, defender, I might still aim to toss the ball here. So I need you to respect that, particularly Drew Tranquil, number 23, and watch what it does to his behaviors as we tell this movement problem solving story on both parties. Watch how awfully close this is to having this ball potentially knocked out or his arm hit in and then the ball being released, right? And watch how this interaction puts 23 on a string. Okay. We see it right there. It keeps him committing. This guy makes this dive. Josh Allen subtly pulls it down. And what does it do? It opens up, even though you still got this chaser. This is a big cat who Josh Allen, I think, trusts, even though, he's fleet of foot, no doubt about it. But he's not that quick per se at 6'5", 240 pounds. But look at this gap that then and what that gap affords. That gap affords passability or runability, run through ability here in this case. And Josh Allen, yes, he's accelerating and accelerating on his gas pedal hard, but he's staying sensitive and perceptually connected too. Like that is a sweet shot right there as this pump fake draws Tranquil to those two hard steps towards the sideline and opens up this area between him. Tranquil tries to throw on the brakes, but look at this position. There is no way, shape, or form, even though Tranquil himself is an awfully good mover. Like, how is he coming back here or coming back there out of this position in an appropriate amount of time to respond accordingly to the what is? The what is for Tranquil, number 23, is Josh Allen passing through this gap. Like you see how that unfolds. Look at Tranquil now trying to gain his balance, trying to do anything that he can to hang on the surfboard for himself. And Josh Allen is an awfully tough wave in order to allow it to come crashing down and around, as we're about to see in a moment for Nick Bolton, number 32. Different wave here is Josh Allen. Now that Josh Allen, even though look at him hanging the ball out there, we're talking about honestly and authentically expressing yourself. There is no tuck here. He doesn't know what he's going to have to do with the ball, even though he's already passed the line of scrimmage and he's about to pass the line again. Like we've seen it from Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it from Lamar Jackson, we've seen it from Aaron Rodgers, we have seen it from Josh Allen. Even if you're beyond the line of scrimmage, you start dancing around with the ball, you start putting the ball out there, defenders, they start forgetting where they are on the field and in relation to the line to gain as well as the line of scrimmage, and they will bite on that anytime. So even though Josh Allen doesn't have to use it here, we see him not tuck it for that specific reason. Look at him hanging that ball out there until he really has to protect it. Like all of these things is the authentic expression. Now, it's not textbook fundamental foundational football. It's not ball carrying and ball handling 101. But you know what, guys and gals? It's about functional fits to the problem and allowing the person, the performer, the player, to be the artist and the person doing the painting. Okay. Now we see all the waves come crashing down. We see nothing but red jerseys. 1, 2, 3, that one that just crashed. 4 chasing, 5 chasing. All of these chasers coming behind, converging and surrounding with another perturbing defender entering the mix here in Nick Bolton. somewhere along the way will intersect with Josh Allen. Look at what Josh Allen is looking. He's looking to, but he's also looking through, as we so often talk about here. JJ Gibson, skilled perception, right? We see some of this coming out and playing out, and it's what leads to the skillful execution that we're about to witness here as Josh Allen navigates these waters in and around these converging defenders, these tackling wannabe defenders. Doesn't necessarily look to make these guys miss. If this was a Lamar Jackson right now, and gosh, you can see Buffalo Bills. Look at this dude down here on the bottom of the screen pointing like, hey, not only did we get a first down, but my guy, like, look at number 13 here. My guy's about to score, right? He knows it. He's done. He's celebrating. Look at Josh Allen right here. And this is something I want to talk about. Two different performers. We could have a Josh Allen, same maybe versus Lamar Jackson. Two awfully skilled players and performers and movers in their own right are going to solve this in very different ways. We might see a Lamar Jackson, my 2019 mover of the year and arguably the most special mover currently doing it. Hit on the brakes, go from left to right, throw his right foot down, and come back to the inside of a converging bolt in here, right? Let's call it right there. We might see Lamar Jackson throw that left foot down, throw the right foot down, and spin from left to right to come back in this direction. Okay, like if he was coming here, right? We might see a Lamar Jackson look to deceive this guy, change his tempo, hit the brakes a little bit, and then look to maybe hurdle over or maybe go around or run past. And I'm only using Lamar Jackson here, knowing that they were 1 and 2, Lamar being number 1 and Josh Allen being number 2 on my all movement team last year at the quarterback position. But they might see similar slices, similar snippets of the game, similar movement problems, even though no two movement problems are the same. And they're going to solve it very differently because they connect to that problem differently. And our environments, our training environments, have to allow for it. Josh Allen instead realizes to himself, my organismic, my individual, my personal constraints are that I'm 6'5", 235 to 240 pounds. Nick Bolton is 5'11", 235 probably. And Nick Bolton can do nothing more than, I'm going to lay a shoulder into that guy and attempt to knock him off balance because this is a big cat in the open field. Nick Bolton doesn't even try to go low on him. In fact, he gets this glancing blow because he doesn't even exactly know what Josh Allen is going to do. Let's not forget, Josh Allen will hurdle somebody in these situations also. So if he sees Nick Bolton going low, I would not doubt that we see Josh Allen leave his feet and go high. I saw it happen against one of my own players, Anthony Barr, back when Josh Allen was a rookie, 2018, I want to say. So we see these things, and that wasn't the only time Josh Allen has hurdled anybody. He's been my movement play of the week on a number of cases before for doing exactly this as well. I'm only saying all that to illustrate no two movement problems are the same. Neither are any two movement solutions, even for the same performer. And now we see Josh Allen zero in on this guy, even though he's got a bunch of chasers coming from behind, right? A bunch of chasing cats coming from behind. Some who've slowed down a bit, right? This guy wants nothing to do with Josh Allen. Even though look at Josh Allen's posture, look at his kinematics right now, but look at him zero in like the freaking Terminator again. Like he zeroes in on him like, here's my enemy is detected type of thing. And he wants nothing more than to put this guy on a poster en route to pay dirt. And that's exactly what he does. But to use no way is the way, right? Look at that. He kind of does like this karaoke skip, like the karaoke tapioca skip. Like, look at this. And then into the contact into the strength and the power solution, like it's you or me. And as long as I don't lose the ball, I did everything I needed to do. Let's get back to that karaoke skip out of that unbalance. Like, let's look at it here. And then takes number 6, Cook, along for the ride with them. Okay. Awesome stuff. Josh Allen, go flex on him as much as you want. You just took the Kansas City Chiefs, as we would say, and you took it from them in convincing fashion. Yes, you're at home. Yes, they're a little banged up. Yes, they probably should have lost some games up to this point. But Josh Allen putting his team on his back, now we see it from the other perspective. We see how some of those unfolding problem and solution dynamics come to be, how they interact with one another to allow for these opportunities to act for Josh Allen to emerge and Josh Allen to interact in the way that only Josh Allen can. Let's see it one more time. 50% speed. Watch some of those same key contributors, some of those actors that we just highlighted their behaviors, and we see what they do from this angle. Okay. And yes, this isn't the greatest angle in the world to see some of those things, but what we see from Josh Allen is a functional fit of a relationship, a functional fit of a movement solution, and how perceptions, cognitions, and actions all feed into one another in this tightly intertwined, tightly coupled fashion. So, what can we do if we are a movement and skill acquisition specialist or a coach working with one of these types of players, or for our players in order to help facilitate these types of interactions? I think the first and foremost thing that I've often talked about, in fact, I talked about it 2 weeks ago with Saquon Barkley. Let players interact with the problem that they see and then help to educate their attention and intention for potential opportunities to act. So they can see those movement problems in their own unique and special way, but also so they can explore their movement toolbox for their strategies that they find fit to fit them, that they find fit to be organized and coordinated in relation to them. In particular, and in specific to these instances, whether it's a 6'5", 237-pound quarterback in Josh Allen, who you're looking to get accustomed to taking in some of that contact, some of that, and having some of that contact balance, or whether it's a shorter running back or the defender themselves. We can set up slices and snippets of the game, even if we're not having tackling interactions, where we do allow for contact. Not full-fledged, full-force contact where tackling is happening to the ground, but even just a guy coming in and getting accustomed to lowering the shoulder a little bit, getting and knocking someone off balance. I find a really good time and place to do these types of things to get contact, whether it's for a big skill skill player, such as a ball carrying player, such as a Josh Allen in this case, or a running back, tight end, wide receiver, and the like, right? Or whether it's for the defenders, getting accustomed to taking some of that contact. I find that during our movement prep or during our warm up, when we're doing some of the traffic navigation type of work that I've so often talked about here at Football Beyond the Stats, is the perfect opportunity to do that. Let's remember that information that needs to be detected, as well as the perception of it, isn't just about visual perception. It's about haptic and touch. It's about taking in some of the kinesthetic sense and awareness of where someone is in time and space in relation to others. That type of relationship can really be facilitated and nudged in those traffic type of scenarios and situations. So if you're looking to facilitate this type of skillful behavior, I find that that's a perfect place to be able to do it. Hopefully that makes some sense. I hope it does. In any event, I'm sure it's something that we will continue to expand upon here at Football Beyond the Stats, because yes, I love when guys make other dudes miss. When skillful players put somebody on a string and make a miss to elude them. But let's not forget, this is elusiveness too. This is dexterity at its finest as well. Remember, to solve any emerging movement problem in any situation, in any condition, it's about the interaction as opposed to the movement actions that emerge, right? So Josh Allen is dexterous as they come in 2024 in the National Football League, and we saw it on full display against the Super Bowl champs in Week 11. So for the Movement Miyagi, I'm Sean Mishka. This is Football Beyond the Stats and my movement play of the week this week for Week 11 in 2024. I will see you guys in Week 12. If you like this video, hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, share with your people, comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and I will talk to you guys next